Greetings. Hello. I'm Erin Suniva. Welcome. Welcome to the temple. I am your high priestess, and today we are going to celebrate Samhain, or basically open the way to celebrate Samhain over the next roughly 3 weeks. Because Samhain, this time, and I'll speak more to this, is a time frame. It's not a particular day. It's a window. So step into the temple with me so that we can initiate this powerful time for ourselves. As we enter this temple, I welcome the presence of our higher selves. I welcome the presence of the highest consciousness into this space, highest love and compassion. I ask for the divine to hold us in the light today, and I welcome the benevolent teachers and weavers of the divine plan to grace this space, to support the expansion and the sharing of spiritual experience and education. This is the place where we witness the work that we talk about. We can be present for the unfolding of hearts returning to their true medicine. And you may be called to this space today because you are seeking connection to your divinity, or you are seeking a space where you can dive in to your inherent perfection. Remember how to heal and walk the path of love, participating in the restoration of the divine plan on earth. Welcome. And so it is. Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Hello, beauties. Nice to see you. Dipti, Charisse, Ariana, Lori. Thank you to those of you who are watching the replay. I highly encourage you to fully participate. If you need to wait until you can watch this another time so that you can fully participate in your own way, I encourage that as well. It is, oh goodness. I'm going to actually really create a container here, because I would like to invite you into a deeper experience of spirit. You know, the purpose for today is not just to honor the ancestors. It's to honor ourselves. It's to honor the place where we are in the cycle of the wheel of the year. And so those of us who are in the Northern Hemisphere, please forgive me, Charisse, and those of you in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, friends of mine who are always so present with me, I thank you for participating, and I invite you to mirror this energy. The veil is thin for all of us. This time of year, the veil thins. And even just last night, my husband said, why? Why does the veil thin at this time of year? And I'm like, why? Why? And I don't know that I can really answer that question yet. And maybe the ancestors can tell us. But what I know is that whether you are in the presence of Beltane, and you're entering into the summer half of the year, the masculine half of the year in the Southern Hemisphere, or you are entering into the winter half of the year, the feminine half of the year, wherever you are stepping into a new energy that is asking something new from you, something different than what you've been holding these last few months. And so, friends in the Southern Hemisphere, I encourage you to see this as the time of fruitfulness, where we are harvesting and completing our harvest. You're in full sprout, right? You are coming into bloom. And so recognize how you are on the mirrored side of what we are holding in the Northern Hemisphere. And from this point forward, I will continue to speak from the perspective where I am in the Northern Hemisphere. I welcome the presence of our higher selves again. I welcome the presence of our benevolent ancestors. Beloved beings who have walked before us, who have prayed for us, who have diligently lived so that we can live as well. We are here at this time of year to honor you, all that you have done for us and continue to do for us from the other side. We will pray for you today as we also remember you. I welcome the presence of the archangels. As I call in the energies from the east, I welcome Archangel Michael to stand in the east with his sword holding the air. Beloved, bright breath, inspiration, initiation, renewal of life. Welcome east, welcome air. I turn to the south and honor Archangel Raphael and ask you to hold the flame, to hold the spirit, the initiation, the alchemization of our spirits, the promulgation of our purpose. We invite you to fill us, to motivate us, to move us. Welcome, South. Welcome, fire. I turn to the west and I welcome the presence of Archangel Gabriel holding the compassionate waters. Thank you for your healing presence. Thank you for the movement, the stillness, the rising and the falling of that water which is life. We thank you for the way that you move through us, carry us, and renew us daily. Welcome, water. Welcome, west. I turn to the north and I welcome Archangel Sandalphon to stand with the earth. I welcome the animal kingdom, the trees, the stones. In this place where the ancestors reside, we honor you, the ancient ones. We honor our physical bodies as well, our own transformations. Thank you for coming, Earth. Thank you to the north. Welcome. I turn my gaze and my attention above, and I draw down the power of our true sun and Solaris, solar dragon. I welcome and invite our beloved spirit guides, ancestors of the stars. We welcome those benevolent beings who love us unconditionally, who watch over us, to continue to protect us and guide us from afar. Welcome above. I draw up from below Mother Gaia and the void, the darkness, the shadow. We welcome you who are ready for illumination, and we honor the composting of the deep earth, the beings that live and reside within the inner earth, and our sacred ancestors who hold that space within. Thank you. Thank you for lifting us up, supporting us, and being present with us today. Thank you, Mother Gaia. And here in the center, the beloved, the inner self. Here in the center, I anchor the heart fire with the blue flame of Sophia, the emerald crystal heart flame of the Melchizedek order, the white Christed flame of true Christ consciousness, masculine and feminine, and the triple solar dragon flame. From the highest light of creation through the center of my being and this container, I anchor the heart fire deep in the earth, connected to the central sun of the planet and the central sun of our galaxy. Thank you. Welcome. I call upon the presence of Mother Isis to completely envelop each of us participating and observing this ritual today and every day. Wrap your wings around us, Mother. Hold us in your healing crucible. Renew us in your remembering. We welcome your medicine, your guidance, and your love. Welcome. All of the beings here are only those who love us unconditionally, who serve the highest good in accordance to the divine plan and the cosmic sovereign law of one. And so it is. Welcome. Pay attention to the internal shift that you may have experienced with that invocation. You may be familiar with the ancestor song that I sing quite often. This song was written by Lisa Thiel, and she has written received perhaps, quite many magical tunes. I highly recommend connecting with her. Hello, Patrick, welcome. And really allowing yourself to connect to the medicine that she carries, that just simply is carried in song. When we sing our prayers are carried even further to the astral, because so much of our being is included, is involved. So this is a very simple song, and I invite you to join in as you feel. Sacred ancestors, come to me. Sacred ancestors who love me. Sacred ancestors, come to me. Sacred ancestors who love me. Oh, my mother's, fathers, brothers, sisters, and relations too, who have loved me for always. I keep the light for you. Oh, my mother's, fathers, brothers, sisters, and relations too, who have loved me for always. I keep the light for you. Sacred ancestors, come to me. Sacred ancestors who love me. Sacred ancestors, come to me. Sacred ancestors, please help me. Oh, my mother's, fathers, brothers, sisters, and relations too, who have loved me for always. I keep the light for you. Oh, my mother's, fathers, brothers, sisters, and I keep the light for you. I keep the light for you. So there are different aspects of what Samhain is about. What is Samhain about? What is it for? What are we doing here? And it is incredibly important for us as humans to have a connection to lineage, to have a connection to our past in order to support the present. It's valuable for us to, yes, know where we came from, while at the same time we can have a trajectory and know where we're going. And the ancestors, they teach us, they remind us of what we've been through them, where we have gotten, how far we have gotten. And by their presence, by their remembering us, we are able to enhance ourselves, improve our lives, and heal huge karmas that we might be carrying. And I feel like, I can't tell if my flame is on. Yes, it is. You just can't see it. It's so important to me to be able to see that flame. So let's see if you can see it better now. So I want to talk about who I have here, what I have here on my little altar. And so these are flowers from my garden, purple flowers from my garden. This is Goethe. Goethe is my Norse troll. And she has been with me since 2016 when I went to Norway. And she's been through some trauma and she's still with me. I'm so grateful that she's here. These two goddesses that I have represented are Brigid and Hecate, or Hecate. Brigid, of course, I also have my Brigid's cross, the Celtic cross of the Irish drum called the bodhrán or the bodhrán. And I have my offering to the ancestors, handmade biscuits made by my husband. These are all, including the flame, sacred items. They're particularly sacred to me, obviously, because of my ancestral and spiritual heritage. They carry weight for me. So whenever I have ritual or ceremony of some kind, I bring out these items that connect me. They connect me to my ancestors. Now, I could have brought the pictures of my ancestors, but I have my ancestor altar downstairs all put together and I don't want to disturb it. So I left all of my pictures there. But while I was singing the ancestor song, I was thinking of all of those in the pictures that I don't have yet of two ancestors that left recently, including my Uncle Peter, that deserves to be there. So he's there in my heart. I don't have a printed picture of him yet, which I will do today. So, as well as my sister, Adi Sutton, who also belongs on that altar. So the point of these honorings, I also just want to bring my beloved Jericho, Rose of Jericho. This divine plant holds sacred medicine. And so when you put it into the water, it opens, it blooms. And as it's slowly opening, you might be able to see that it is still green inside, right? So this is a succulent It's a type of succulent. And when it dries up, it curls up into itself into a ball. And so every time that I have an important ritual or a need to hold space in some way, like I brought this to France and it lived on the house altar in everywhere that we went. This was the center of the altar. Why is that? Because the Rose of Jericho is a holder of energy. It also purifies. The energy of the Rose of Jericho, while being a succulent, it is also connected to the evergreen, right? So it holds the energy of always purifying, always cleansing. And so this beloved has been with me, I believe, 3 years now. So not very long, but I have a relationship with her. And I'm just so grateful for her, for how she holds me, how I feel that this little sacred living item, it's alive, right? This living item reminds me that I am always holding space and I am always held. It is so, it's just so precious to me to have something visual and physical to keep that energy alive, right? To keep that energy flowing. So when we make an ancestor altar, so there are different traditions with this, and the one that is the most, I believe, prominent, the most visible is the Mexican tradition, the curanderismo tradition of the ofrenda. And the ofrenda is the wonderful ancestor altar that is created every year for Dia de los Muertos. And so, obviously that is not my tradition. I'm not going to teach on it in any way, but just to share that in this belief, in this tradition, what I have learned is that when you create an ancestor altar, and I'll answer your question, Ariana, when you create an ancestor altar, you are creating a living memory. You're holding, a living memory. And which is quite curious, Ariana. It's beautiful, to find a way to return to your roots, right? And it actually, comes from an indigenous tradition. So it is believed that in this particular tradition that there are layers of the underworld, and there is the place that is kept by La Muerta, or the goddess of the dead, right? And those ancestors who are remembered by the living reside in the first layer. I don't remember the name of it, but the first layer of the underworld, where they are in the land of the remembered. And when they are forgotten, then they go into a deeper layer. And yes, there could be many layers. Like I said, this is not my tradition, so I can't really, speak on it. But there's basically, between these two, there's the land of the remembered and the land of the forgotten. And so it's so important, and that the land of forgotten resides over by Xibalba. And within these traditions, this is why they say that it's so important and it's so valuable for us to remember our ancestors so that they can reside in the place of celebration. And so the marigolds are used, and they're, because this is a time of year where the marigolds are still thriving, and they're, for us, they're a little frost resistant, which is good. So there's still marigolds at this time, but they do represent that living dead, right? The remembered. So in my tradition, which honestly, gosh, I don't even feel like I can say my tradition, because I am returning to my roots. My family I was not raised in the tradition of honoring Samhain, right? We celebrated Halloween just like every other, Western, family. And we have this, this thread that lives in us, that is pulling on us, pulling on our spirit, pulling on our hearts to remember how we were in the past, how our ancestors celebrated this time. And this awareness of the thinning of the veil does not just exist for those who reside in Ireland or have Celtic connections or even Druidic connections, but that obviously there are many cultures that acknowledge that this is the time where the ancestors are present. And so there are a lot of different ways that around the world people recognize, witness the presence of their ancestors and desire to acknowledge them and keep their memories alive. Along with the ancestors, this is also the time of really powerful shadow work. So what is happening for us? Well, it is this shift from the harvesting and the collecting of energies and things that we have cultivated over the summer and into autumn, that we are complete, right? We are complete with our cultivation, and we have, harvested from the garden. Look at this beauty. These flowers like still blooming like crazy in my front yard, because we've only just, started freezing here these last few nights. So what is happening for us in the living world on the surface of the planet is that we are shifting from being outward solar focused, right, in the summer half of the year, to turning inward. One of the ancient stories that is told at this time is the descent of Persephone. And so the Greek lineages, the story of Persephone being kidnapped, but really her father Zeus allowed it, right? And she was, just a ripe, ripe virgin, and she was stolen basically from her mother Demeter by Hades and brought into the underworld. And so the story goes that while she was, also in her budding stage of her own, opening and expansion, there is the, did he rape her or did she want it kind of energy. So there's this little bit of this shadow aspect of his forcefulness and her resistance, but also her presence of allowing what was happening to her, and welcoming that, oh, I'm not safe with mommy anymore. What happens to me here? And as she enters into the underworld, she enters into a realm of independence and renewal. And so this half of the year is the time where we are internal. It doesn't mean that we are all entering into the underworld, but that we are entering into the place where our shadow aspect can be seen, honored, and witnessed. And so where the traditions have us honoring Persephone and honoring her descent, and sometimes we might have a ritual where we create an effigy of Persephone and we put her into the fire in order to support her descent and to acknowledge that we know that she is being sent to the underworld. She is also carrying with her our prayers for internal healing, our prayers for healing our shadow aspects, right? And so there's that dance between potential promiscuity and innocence, right? And so where are you in that thin line? What is your relationship to your own shadow and your sexuality, right? And then there is this very important aspect of this story is that when she arrives in Hades with Hades, she is given a pomegranate. And pomegranates are, right? They're ripe at this time of year. And so this was part of the completion of the spell. So while Demeter is in the upper world going crazy looking for her daughter, and the owl finally says, your husband Zeus is the one who let this happen. And so she goes to Zeus, how could you? How dare you, right? And he says, well, let's see how much she has agreed to it. And so they look as they can, because they're gods, into the underworld, and they see that Hades has offered Persephone the pomegranate. And so, furious and frightened, Demeter says, no, don't eat the fruit, because then you will be subject to stay there. If you eat the food that the gods give you in their place of power, there's the potential to be stuck there. So she flies to Hades and says, wait, what's happening? You cannot agree to this. And Hades says, it's too late. She has already eaten the pomegranate seeds. And she says, well, how many has she eaten? She has eaten 6. So Demeter says, fine, then you can have her 6 months out of the year, and I will have her the other 6 months out of the year. And so that is where we have the return of Persephone, Southern Hemispherians, the return of Persephone at Bealtaina, at the mark of the other side of the year, entering from winter into summer. Persephone is born again, and she is the fertile goddess. And so that is the time of fertility, celebrating fertility and all that comes from that. All that you desire to create, Persephone is on your side. So that is another powerful aspect of this time or tradition from, middle, Central Eastern Europe. And what is important to know is that this is an actual astrological measurement. So we have the wheel of the year cut into quarters, right? With the equinoxes and the solstices. So we have these 4 seasons. And then we have what we call the cross-quarter holidays. The cross-quarter holidays are astrologically aligned, just like the solstices and the equinoxes. So Samhain Yes, spelled Samhain. Don't expect Gaelic to make any sense whatsoever, but Samhain actually lands, there's two aspects here, astrological. There's the solar Samhain and the lunar Samhain. So the solar Samhain lands on 15 degrees Scorpio, where the sun is in Scorpio, right? And lunar Samhain is the second new moon after the autumnal equinox. So same thing on the opposite side. Beltane or Beltane is the solar Beltane is when the sun is at 15 degrees Taurus, and when the moon is the second full moon after what? The spring equinox. So these are divine points. These are not October 31st, right? And so actually, solar Samhain is November 6th, and lunar Samhain is November 19th. So we are here on this day and purposefully in what is happening in the cosmos that pretty much everybody on the planet is aware of, with comets and non-comets and whatever else is happening or not happening. And it's valuable for us to open the way of this season, to open this time of Samhain as a window of experience, a window for us to be in the presence of this energy, and not just say this is the day like Christmas, like, no, it's a holiday season, right? So this is a holiday season for us. So now on to our ritual. I would like to ask for the ancestors to give us a small tarot reading to support us and guide us at this time, and to read for the collective of how we can best use this time for ourselves, our personal development, and the expression of our shadow. While we connect to the dark half of the year, we are connecting to our inner world. And sometimes this is about really understanding the parts of ourselves that aren't healed, right? The parts of ourselves that still get triggered, that rise up, that need healing, and that truly are actually desiring to be seen. And the way that we heal our shadow aspects is by illuminating them, by bringing our awareness to them. And so that is another aspect of Samhain. And what we're doing here is that we are actually giving honor to our own shadow aspects. So while I am pulling these cards, I invite you to get your journal or get a piece of paper and to prepare to begin thinking about parts of yourself that you would like to heal, parts of your maybe personality or your ego or your wounds that you are ready to illuminate, that you are ready to hold and honor and alchemize. So when we heal our shadow aspects, it's not about like getting rid of this part of ourselves. It's actually about healing and integrating, right? These shadow aspects, which is like, oh, I don't want to think about like, I'll use myself for example, that, maybe my stubbornness, right? Or sometimes, it can be really hard to hear other people's feelings right? Of course. And I'm talking about like interpersonal, like I'm a real good space holder when it's my work, but in my relationship with my beloved, with my partner, sometimes it's hard for me to hold space for his emotions. And I would consider that to be a little bit of a shadow aspect of my being that I'm working on shifting. So there's some of my vulnerability for you. So, did it get hot? Yes. And so when the body responds to these thoughts, if you feel your cortisol rise or you have a heat wave that moves through your body when you touch on something that's tender or vulnerable for yourself, you can trust that that is a body saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to heal this. I'm ready to move on from this. I'm ready to have a different experience. So as it goes for the ancestor altar, I don't feel like I completely answered Ariana's question. And I just want to say that I have a place, it's actually on this multi-layered altar here, where I keep the pictures of my ancestors. And then at Samhain time is when I bring them all downstairs to my main house altar. That's huge. That's a hutch. And so it has 3 levels. And so I dedicate a whole section to the ancestors. And then once the season is over, I will return the ancestors to this altar over here. So, what are the medicine that we can receive from the ancestors at this time that serves the highest good? Ancestors, please guide us at this time. One more shuffle. So we start with the Queen of Pentacles. So coming into right relations with our body and our relationship to money. So if you feel like you are processing guilt or shame, and I'll bring that up because this is the next card, there's definitely there's a collective, especially in the United States, I'll say, right here in the United States, there is a huge shadow that is rising around survival and being dependent on the state, right? So this daunting threat of individuals, families who need or have needed support just in order to feed themselves and their children. There is this aspect of not being in right relations with money, not being in right relations with our resources, our inner resources, and our relationship to our independence, our ability to take care of ourselves. And there's a lot of guilt and shame around that. And there is the inheritance of this for a lot of people, right? The inheritance of the poverty mindset and the inheritance of shame around money. And that if you don't have enough money, that you should be ashamed, or that you should be ashamed if you can't afford to feed your children, which is absolutely ridiculous, because considering how expensive everything is, that what has been removed from our sphere at this juncture is the power of community. And so hopefully my prayer in this particular thread, this particular energy, is that people remember community and remember the joy in giving and the actual responsibility of caring for your neighbor, and not in a communist sense that we all have to be on the equal playing field, but that everybody deserves food and water. It's a human right. Everybody deserves warmth, shelter, and safety. That is a human right. And so this experience of that being out of integrity as a whole for humanity is what is being asked of us from the ancestors to heal right now. Let's heal those parts that are carrying shame around not having enough, so that we can truly adore ourselves and adore our ability, 9 of Coins, adore our ability to manifest everything that we need. My current mantra, is, I don't know why I feel like my chair keeps going further and further down. My current mantra is, I always have more than I need. Enough and some to share. Enough and some to share, right? I always have more than I need, so that I can support others in need. And I cannot help but attract a lot of money and resources into my field. And this is the energy of the 9 of Coins. However, part of her lesson is to not enter into vanity and to not enter into a fear that it will be taken from you. There's this aspect of the 9 of Coins of looking over her shoulder, of being afraid. So the more that we are able to connect with community, 10 of Coins, and support one another and separate from that shadow of greed and enter into the place where no one goes hungry. No one thirsts. We are all provided for. And this is of the utmost importance because we get to do this with each other. We get to receive this balance. When we hold the balance within ourselves, Spirit holds the balance with us and shows us where we need to give a little bit more, rest a little bit more, be with nature a little bit more, so that our resources can truly be full, supportive, righteous, right? And so the future card here is the King of Pentacles, where everyone is provided for, where this is not the best printing. It's kind of hard to see this card, but he is flanked by 2 bulls. This is a very Taurus card. Being resourceful. I am resourced. I am resourced. So whether this is health-based, physical-based, spiritually-based, financially-based, I am resourced. And the ancestors want us to know that. The ancestors want us to remember we are resourced. We are resourced. Okay. So what we are going to do is I would like for you to grab your pen and paper and just make a quick note of what it is that you are releasing, what it is that you are allowing yourself to look at within yourself. What is it that you are ready to and desiring to heal? You heard me when I said about I want to be able to hold my beloved's emotions, to hold his perspective and his experience in a better way. And the curse of the Taurus is that we're always right. And so it's difficult for us to hear outside of that experience, right? So I am looking at that. So I encourage you, I'm going to sing for you for the next 2 minutes while you do that. And you write down for yourself what you are willing and ready to look at, to reveal. And maybe you don't know what that is. Maybe you are just writing down higher self, great spirit, ancestors. I ask you to show me, what is the part that I am ready to heal? What is the part of me that is ready to heal that might even be a challenge for me to even think of, right? I am a Taurus married to a Cancer. Enough said. And if you feel called to share your intentions with all of us, with the circle, I invite you to put it into the comments, because when we share, Spirit can hold us even more accountable because we are making it public. We are sharing our hearts, we're sharing our spirits, and we are valuing, by writing this down, whether you share it publicly or not, but by writing it down, you are making it manifest. You are creating the space for this healing to happen. Open my heart, show me the way, bless my feet as I walk my path each day, watch over me, support me, help me to see where I'm not free. Okay. We're almost complete with our little ritual. I'm so grateful for you all being here, present with me. Really special. It means a lot to me. So now I would like for you to, hopefully you have something that you have brought that is going to hold your energy. It's going to contain your prayer. And for me, I have a tool that is actually not ancestral, at least not for this personal lineage that I'm on, but this is a dirja. This is an ancient tool for holding power. And it represents the power of lightning. It represents the torus field, the 0 point center of the being. It represents many things. But one thing that it is a container. And so even while being metallic, it is brass, it is created with the intention of holding power, holding energy, and for some used as a weapon, the original lightsaber, right? The actual lightsaber comes from this, and this, I almost said entity, but like this, I'm going to say it again, this being, because what it is it represents plasma. And so this, while being a representative, is actually a way for us to hold energy, to hold ether, and hold intention. Thank you to Melaine Snow for giving this to me. So the way that I use it is I hold the intention that I have. And you can do this with a crystal. You can do this with a piece of organite, some beautiful organite from France. Mary Magdalene on the back, right? The fleur de lis for many things, but the divine feminine. And so you can take this, or you can grab a crystal, right? All of these things will hold energy for us. And so, thank you, Patrick. So what we do is we connect in prayer to our central power, our central channel, our highest self, to our lowest self, so that we can fully activate and harness this prayer to be held throughout the dark half of the year. And so that when we feel like, oh, I'm working out this shadow self, or I'm present with this part of my being that is working this thing out, and I'm having a hard time with it, you can go back to the item that you have charged with this prayer or with this intention and say, help me to have the strength for this process. Help me to excavate the parts of myself that I am unaware of that are affecting me around this theme. Okay? So you have your intentions, you've written down what it is that you want to heal or work on, and I invite you to now charge your item with your right hand, right? Or if you are left-handed, do this with your left hand. You want to do this with your dominant hand, even though I would say do this with the masculine side of the body, which is the right, but honestly, do this with your dominant hand, because this is where your energy comes out, especially your manifesting energy, and the energy of intention comes out through the hand with which you write. So hold it either at your heart or at your belly, your womb, wherever you feel called. I charge this item with the intention of my prayer. My personal prayer is being able to hold others in personal relation with their emotions, their perspective, and their heart. To have a greater capacity to hold the neutral space, the loving compassion, so that they can feel safe in their communication with me, feel heard and honored. I call upon this shadow aspect of my being that has been challenged by the ability to do this, so that I can grow and heal and have wonderful relationship with my beloved and with my valuable family members and sisters and brothers in my life. And I charge this item with this energy today, with this prayer, and with this intention to be willing to see the parts of myself that are holding judgment or holding back compassion. I ask for you to bring awareness to me so that this shadow aspect can be seen, honored, and alchemized. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are you complete? Let me know when you're done. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. So now, just a small little piece, I would like for you to, let's see, just tear off a small piece of paper. And on this piece of paper, look how small, okay? On this piece of paper, I am writing, I am free. And in this statement, I am free. This doesn't mean that you that you cost nothing, right? This means I am liberated, right? You can write I am liberated as well. But the intention around this, I am free, means that you are liberating the lineage of these ancestral karmas that you might be holding on to, these personal spiritual karmas that you might be holding on to. This is the time of liberation. This is the time of you freeing yourself of these burdens. And that doesn't mean that you are required to know what the burdens are. What is important here is that you are able to be in the place of releasing what may have been holding you back, but especially honoring your ability to not hold on to any of it. Hopefully this makes sense. So I'm going to write down, I am liberated. And we use a small piece of paper, and you probably know why, because we're going to burn it. So if you don't have an ashtray nearby or an abalone shell with your sage in it, then please go grab one. Maybe grab a little glass dish so that you don't get any marks on any ceramic bowls or anything like that, because you can get a burn mark on your ceramic bowls and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to use my sacred flame. And some witches say don't do that. You don't want to light anything off of your sacred central flame. But here we are, because this is the flame of liberation. When we light a candle for ritual, we are invoking the power of the sun to be present on earth. And by doing that, we are also calling upon the divine spirit to alchemize what doesn't serve. Does That's part of the intention. And so I am using this intention and this power of the sun to fully participate in my prayer of I am liberated. So I thank you, Divine Flame, for supporting my liberation, for my highest good, and for the collective liberation of karmic woes, of heavy shadows, so that we can all rise up together in healing, connected to our ancestry, connected to what comes next for all of us. In the name of love. And drop it into your ashtray. Let it burn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And now I will burn a little bit of this wonderful dragon's blood laced white sage that Amy Martin gave me. Thank you so much, Amy. To also support the delivery of our prayers on the smoke. And so we thank you. Yay, Ashley is here. We thank you, Divine Ones, for hearing our prayers, for hearing our songs, for hearing our prayers for your liberation as well as ours. Thank you for your support of humanity at this time while we process great collective shadow. May we be liberated from this collective shadow so that we can alchemize our part in it. May we allow the divine loving presence to flow through our beings in order to transmute the negative energies, the disturbances, the distractions, the discordance at this time on this planet, and especially in the Western world, so that we can come back into unity as a human family, connected to the value of life, liberty, and justice. And so it is. So I welcome you to bless yourselves. You can just reach out and pull the smoke towards you. This is quantum sage. Pull that smoke towards you and bless yourselves. Bless your ancestors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Thank you for your presence today. Thank you for your intentions and your participation. I can feel it. And it means so much to the spirit. It means so much to all of us. Understanding that even those that we say came before, they are with us in spirit and in physical presence, in their living light in the now. Right? So let us move beyond past, present, and future and be in the quantum now. Our ancestors are alive. They are alive in their realms. They are alive in our hearts, and they are alive with us. And they are encouraging us to free ourselves of shame and guilt for not having enough, for being out of integrity with our bodies, with our health, with our finances. And they are encouraging us to support that which is healing within, physical and non-physical, to support our own belief that we always have what we need. And if you are struggling to feed yourself and your family, may you be free of guilt and shame so that you can ask for help. Ask for help. I'm so incredibly amazed at the people in my community who are asking for help, wholeheartedly, vulnerable, present to just the fact that they're in the place where they are. When I first was pregnant with my first child, was on almost all of the government assistance because of our circumstances. I have had and needed food stamps before, and I am so incredibly grateful that I don't need them now, that my husband and I are self-sufficient in many, many ways, and that we are able to continue to provide for ourselves and our children in the ways that they require so that they can thrive and have everything that they need. And may this continue to be so, and even more, so that we can be generous, even more generous with our communities, far and close, to recognize those who are hurting. We can think of our beloveds in the Caribbean, and we can think of our beloveds in the Middle East and in Africa, in the Sudan and Nigeria, and all who are struggling right here in North America, everywhere. May all who are hungry be fed. May all who thirst have water and be provided for every single day. And may you, my friends, always have everything that you need and then some. You are provided for. You are sacred and you are divine. Your words carry so much power, so be very conscious of them. Be very present with your heart and your speech. Thank you for your presence today. We're going to release this ritual, release the container that we called in so that we can move forward in our lives in a good way, in a valuable way, providing service to humanity so that we can evolve and grow together. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of the ancestors, to the beloveds who are here. But before I release the ancestors, I want to encourage you to play their favorite music, to make their favorite food, to sing their favorite songs, to tell their stories, to tell jokes about them, right? To bring up their memories. I acknowledged to my ancestors as I was planting tulip bulbs the other day that I don't have much of a relationship to my mother's father because he died when she was 15 and I only have one picture to go on. And so William Loring does not, show up much in my field because I don't have a relationship with him. And so I encourage you to have this expansion in your field of what are the ancestors that I'm forgetting? What are the ancestors that I don't reach out to that might need to be remembered? That there might be a thread, and maybe it's the shadow thread that I'm being affected by even in my liberation, right? That I'm being affected by, that I need to heal. And for him, for myself, what am I carrying, right? So I presence you, Bill Loring, I honor you, and I encourage us all to continue to learn about your ancestors, honor them, honor what they have done in order for you to be. Thank you. So I give love and gratitude to all of the ancestors and to the center heart fire here, holding us together. We release the heart fire in the center. Below, I thank you, Mother Gaia, and all of the shadows that have come up for illumination, for your own deliverance. We honor you and we release you. Thank you to the guardians and guides above, Sacred Sun. Thank you for watching over this session today. We release you. Thank you to Archangel Sandalphon in the north, to the ancestors, the animal kingdom, the trees, the rocks, the ancient ones. In the north, we thank you and we release you. Thank you to Archangel Gabriel in the west, to the beloved waters, to the swimming ones, and to the psychic self. To our emotional body, thank you to the west. We release you. Thank you to beloved Archangel Raphael for holding the flame and the fire in the south. We honor the children, those to come. We honor the sacred medicines, the spirit, and the motivating energy that keeps us active, connected to source. Thank you to the south. We release you. Thank you so much to Archangel Michael for residing and initiating with your beloved sword, with the mental body, with the breath in the east. We thank you so much. We release you. To all of the divine beings who have come and been present with us, we release you and we thank you for your space holding and for your sharing and spreading of these messages, these medicines, these prayers. Thank you for your continuation of presence in our lives, beloved ancestors. Thank you for holding us accountable to you and to ourselves and for generations to come. May we continue in a good way to walk in integrity, in deep prayer, in connection to the earth, our hearts, the sun, and the stars. May we be ever devoted to humanity's healing and evolution and the protection of nature. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We release you all. Stay if you will, go if you must. And so it is. Blessed be. I love that, Cherise. Thank you all so much. We'll see you again next week. And to all of my dragon tribe, I'll see you in about 35 minutes. Take care, everyone. If you feel called and you would like to join my Patreon and our beloved circle that meets every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, you're welcome. The request is a subscription of $11 a month, which is what, 2 coffees these days. And that is just simply to keep us connected and aligned. In the Dragon Tribe, we receive energetic calibration. We receive higher consciousness, divine guidance. We receive other dynamic, amazing divine beings, answer questions, and provide energy healing. So if you would like to join us as a guest, please reach out to me directly and you are welcome to join as a guest. And if you would like to join my Patreon, you can do that as well. Let me just put this up here for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Samhain to all of you. And we will be returning to this energy again and again. And so I encourage you to stay true to your prayers and your intentions and keep your items visible so that you can remember what you have charged them with. When you feel like you need help or support, put your item in the sun. Let that item be charged by Solaris, Solar Dragon, to support you in your efforts. I love you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.